Welcome back, everybody, to CineFix's Best Picture series. This week, Mark Ellis returns. We're talking about The Shape of Water this time. It's tricky for genre films to win Best Picture. It doesn't happen really at all, but does Shape of Water have what it takes? So, Shape of Water, what did you think of this movie in general?
I fell in love with this movie.
Did you?
You know, I sat down, and the opening credits are interesting, they're different, and I'm rooting for Guillermo del Toro, and he just knocked it so far out of the park in so many different ways. He made me care about every character, including ones that aren't even human. He made me root for the ones we're supposed to care about. He made me root against the despicable people in the world. He made it very clear without hitting me over the head with a message. And at the end of the day, I'm so happy to see it recognized, because this is a movie that a lot of people could have taken the wrong way.
Yeah.
Especially with the Sally Hawkins creature from the Black Lagoon relationship. But I thought that the job of a movie is to get us over those cliffs. And I bought everything I saw in the movie.
There's those things in lesser movies that if a movie does its job right and is charming enough, then you don't even think twice about it. It's like, wait, you just had sex with that fish guy?
Right, yeah. You don't think about it until after the movie.
That thought didn't even go through my head. Like, it just made perfect sense.
It's a lot like if you actually made love to a fish.
Right.
But you were so enamored with the fish that it wasn't until the next morning you woke up in Vegas and the thing's dead, it's not flopping around anymore. And you're like, oh God, what did I do? Oh, that's right, I was so impassioned.
Yeah. Okay.
Not that this ever happened recently.
Not that it's happened twice.
Yeah, no.
No.
2005 was crazy for everybody.
But yeah, no, I thought it was a great movie. It's an outlandish enough concept that the fact it got made is enough to be recognized. Like, Guillermo del Toro got a movie about a Cold War era fishman having a romance with a mute.
It's a very tough hookup on paper.
Yeah.
Because she can't talk to him and be like, hey, don't I have a great personality? And he's not necessarily a good swipe on Tinder. So the fact that these two found each other, it made me happy, and I think it made the Academy happy too.
And the fact that we bought into it, again, it's just, it's fascinating in terms of like how you tell a story that way to be believable. The other thing, it's got some old Hollywood glamour to it. The fact that there's a musical number in the song and dance Fishman right in the middle of this movie.
And the set design.
It's a throwback. Like, it's a flashback to old Hollywood. It's a flashback to that Cold War era politics stuff. It's got so many things going for it where the Academy is concerned.
And so many different genres, too. I mean, one of the things we've seen in the past where if the Academy can award a movie that has a lot of different facets to it, where you have, like you said, you have the Cold War, the political thriller, the espionage angle, you have science
Russian
fiction.
spies mixed in.
Yeah, it's great. And when I was watching the movie and that angle reveals itself, I wasn't like, wait, where are we going? I was like, this just got better. Yes. We have that social conscience that you and I love to talk about. Yes. And we have all these different styles of relationships in the movie, and so you have romance, you have drama, you have horror, you have comedy, you have a musical number. It's got some element of so many other movies that have won in previous years.
And meanwhile, every supporting character wasn't really just a supporting character. Like, they were all doing their own things, and they had their complete arcs.
Oh, Michael Shannon had a backstory.
Oh, man, that was great.
I think it should win because it's one of my favorites of the year. Yeah. And it's kind of on that classic track, if you will, that you see movies start to pick up steam as you get closer to the Oscars. Right. Like, it made a statement at the Golden Globes. That was the 7th most important statement of the award ceremony that night. But Guillermo winning showed me something. Shape of Water winning Best Picture and multiple awards, as did Guillermo in multiple ones since then, and getting nominated. Things like either Critics' Choice or SAG Awards. These are all indicators that you're passing go and you're collecting $200 on your way to being a favorite at the Academy Awards. So I think when it's all said and done, the tea leaves are reading Shape of Water right now.
The reason I don't think it's going to win.
All right, depress me.
It's the sci-fi fantasy genre film issue that they just don't win. You look at the movies that have been nominated. Last year there was Arrival, Gravity got nominated, and then you go back to like Avatar and District 9, even Mad Max and movies like that are just wonderful films. That sci-fi fantasy genre just doesn't quite cut it with the voters. And so ultimately I think that's why it's not going to win. I think it's another situation where it's the best looking, the best designed, the best directed, but it's not the best picture.
Here's what us fantasy sci-fi fans might have to be content with, is that a lot of times our movie is not going to win. It's going to get recognized like your District 9s or your Avatars like you mentioned. But maybe every 15 years we get some hope And like we got with Return of the King, the Lord of the Rings movie, maybe we'll get the same thing with Shape of Water, because Oscar loves making statements, and I hate that I just referred to him like he's an actual person.
Right.
But Oscar, that rambunctious scoundrel,
that rapscallion,
he likes to make statements, and maybe the biggest statement you could make this year with awarding a movie Best Picture is saying, hey, Geostorm, Pirates of the Caribbean, we see you. This movie did the same thing your movies want to do, except it's good and it didn't cost as much money to make. So just maybe think about it next time.
The other thing that Oscar likes to do is overcorrect or sort of like make things right based on, because I mean, you look at Russell Crowe winning for Gladiator and not The Insider. Like it's stuff like that.
Yeah, Denzel getting robbed winning, and then
like that happens all the time, and I think that was a situation with Return of the King, because Return of the King I don't think is the best of those three movies. I feel like Return of the King was like, all right, this is our last chance to award what they did with that trilogy, so here it is now.
Yeah, sometimes it's a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be that for Shape of Water. I think you are going to see some Lifetime Achievement Awards given out at the Oscars, whether it's deserving, like if it's Gary Oldman winning something, or even Del Toro to a certain extent, where you're rewarding a body of work. I mean, no one getting nominated too. But I think that Shape of Water would be a cool thing to have happen, but if they're going to try to split it where we know Del Toro's winning Best Director, let's give it to one of these more overtly politically conscious movies, then that's where you might see a Call Me By Your Name, which I would not be upset about, or Three Billboards, which you would riot over.
I would die. We established that.
But here's the real question. If you're Sally Hawkins in that movie, and it's a female fish woman, how do you see that bathtub scene going? You think it could happen, or are you just like, hey, I'm just going to put you in the ocean and we're going to remain platonic?
I mean, I'm a big fan of Splash, also. Tom Hanks' early work aside, I think Splash really stands out.
So you would make love, but you'd be thinking about Daryl Hannah the whole time.
It's possible.
That's how I am in my real life.
It's hard to tell. All right, everybody, let us know what you think about Shape of Water's chances to win Best Picture. Also, make sure to check out Mark's stuff at markellislive.com. Also, make sure to check out the rest of our Best Picture series. We've got Lady Bird and Three Billboards also up. And subscribe to CineFix so you don't miss the rest of them. We'll see you next time.